Ngayong Biyernes sa DOST Report. Alamin ang mga proyektong hatid ng Department of Science and Technology, katuwang ang iba pang national government agencies sa bansa upang itaguyod ang pag-unlad ng bayan gamit ang agham, teknolohiya at inobasyon. Makasama natin National Water Resources Board at Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Mines and Geosciences Bureau. Lahat ng yan at ibang balita tungkol sa agham at teknolohiya sa bansa. Ngayong nagdaang linggo, mula mismo kay DOST Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña. Pakadutukan lahat ng yan sa DOST Report tuwing Biyernes alas 4 ng hapon sa DOST TV Facebook page at YouTube channel. Magandang araw Pilipinas, ngayon pong unang Biyernes ng Hunyo, June 4, 2021. Oras na para sa mga napapanong balita tungkol sa agham at teknolohiya. Ito ang DOST Report. Ako po si Oren Miranda, ang inyong kapatid sa bawat. At kasama po natin ang nag-iisang kalihim ng kagawaraan ng agham at teknolohiya, DOST Secretary Fortunato Boy de la Peña. Magandang araw po, Sec Boy.
Magandang araw, Onin, at magandang araw sa ating mga taga-subaybay.
Ngayong pong araw, inimbitahan po natin ang ilan sa mga national government agencies na katuwang ng Department of Science and Technology sa pagbibigay ng mga proyekto para sa kapakanan ng sambayan ng Pilipino. Pero bago yan, makibalita muna tayo sa mga updates sa Science and Technology program sa bansa. Narito po si Secretary Boy.
Thank you, Onin. As usual, I will report first on kalusugan and kabuhayan. And among the items I would like to report first on kalusugan is a project of our DOST Philippine Council for Health Research and Development, wherein they approved a project to model disembarkation behavior in commuter buses and trains to study airflow and aerosolization. The DOST PCHRD approved the project entitled Modeling Embarkation, Disembarkation Behavior and Configuration Settings in Philippine Commuter Buses, Light Rail Transit, and Metro Rail Transit using theoretical and computational fluid dynamics as analytical tools in the mitigation of SARS-CoV-2 airborne transmission. This project aims to contribute to the science of human-expired airflow behavior and the aerosolization of the SARS-CoV-2. This will be done by Ateneo de Manila University and will be led by Dr. Joel Makiling. Now we go immediately to kabuhayan. And the first item here is that is the news from our DOST Region 7, wherein they have launched actually the so-called first smart food value chain facility in the province of Cebu to extend actually food microbiological laboratory services to Cebu's western towns and cities by the middle of June this year. The DOST Regional Office 7 and the lamang Multipurpose Cooperative launched the first ever smart food value chain facility and manufacturing village. It features Cebu Province first satellite and mobile food microbiology laboratory. They did this on January 27, 2021 in Barangay Colonia, Municipality of Tuburan in the province of Cebu. But I'm reporting now one important component of the facility, and this is the food microbiology laboratory, which will provide testing services, particularly in the western portion of the province, to improve the quality and guarantee the safety of products. The laboratory is equipped with various instruments, provided by the Department of Science and Technology, like water activity meters, moisture analyzer, microbiology incubator, autoclave, biosafety cabinet, pH meters, and digital top loading balance. Another important feature of this facility is the unique dual food production area. One will be devoted for fish processing and another for coconut-based commodities. While the production facility is now operational, the facilities laboratory analysts are still undergoing proficiency, coaching, and intensive technical training at the DOST 7 Regional Standards and Testing Laboratory in Cebu City. This is a 3-month training program starting in February, and they will be ready for the laboratory services to commence by June 15, 2021. The target coverage of the facility and the manufacturing village are the 10 towns and 2 cities in the western side of Cebu province. Another item on Kabuhayan is the report of our DOST in the Calabarzon area, wherein the first batch of I-Forward PH, ito yung mga overseas Filipino workers who are setting up their technology-based micro enterprises. This particular batch is already handled at the regional units, and our Calabarzon reports that they have 75 participants who completed the 12 days of rigorous course, and this they call Balikbayanihan Start and Improve Your Business Training. This was conducted by DOST Calabarzon or DOST 4A. It is actually phase 1 of the I-Forward PH program, aiming to equip participants with the necessary knowledge and skills to start a technology-based enterprise. The training culminated with a pitching and closing program that was conducted last May 27 through the Zoom platform, where highlights of selected participants' business ideas from each province were presented. Government agencies also discussed their programs and policies which can help our OFWs kickstart their business enterprises. Among these are the Agriculture Credit Policy Councils and their DA Anyo program, as well as Land Bank of the Philippines, wherein they discuss the requirements for government loan programs. Participating OFWs and their selected mentors also shared their heartfelt insights and learnings on this program. Next, still on Kabuhayan, is a report from DOST Region 8, and it has something to do with a project in Ormoc City. This is actually a collaboration between the Sangguniang Panglungsod, between the local government of Ormoc, a private company, and DOST. So last May 25, their Sangguniang Panglungsod, this is of Ormoc City, through Zoom, approved the resolution granting the city mayor, this is Mayor Richard Gomez, to sign the memorandum of agreement for the institutional collaboration of the city government of Ormoc and also the local government of Tomonan and Region 8 through our Provincial Science and Technology Center in Leyte, together with the Energy Development Corporation for a project on they call Technology Center for Coffee Processing. And this is for the Barangay Tomonan in Ormoc City. So this is a project funded by DOST Region 8, and it aims to adopt the coffee plantation management and coffee processing technology of DOST and other innovation system support. This will include establishing a processing center with food-grade equipment and GMP compliant facilities, and provide the food safety and GMP or good manufacturing processes training to workers. The project is envisioned to create backward livelihood opportunities to local coffee farmers and to generate direct employment in the area. So the Energy Development Corporation and the local government of Ormoc City will be providing technical and financial assistance to ensure the success of the project. Still on kabuhayan, this time from DOST Central Luzon, they have approved 6 new projects under the Small Enterprise Technology Upgrading Program, okay, totaling 6 million financial, this is assistance, advancing the money to procure hardware for their companies. And this is only for the month of May. The technologies that will be adopted by the beneficiaries include the food processing technologies, thermal plate technology, biogas digester technology, pneumatic concrete hollow block making technology, and the DOST Food and Nutrition Research Institute enhanced Nutriband technology. The beneficiaries are from the provinces of Bulacan, Nueva Ecija, Pampanga, and Zambales. They signed the agreements last May 14, 2021. The setup program helps improve the productivity and competitiveness of our local entrepreneurs through the adoption of technology-based intervention. Still on kabuhayan, our DOST Philippine Council for Agriculture, Aquatic, and Natural Resources, R&D, reports the accomplishments of the Sea Cucumber Research and Development Center, which is now a NICER center of DOST. NICER means NITS Research, NITS Center for R&D in the regions. And this Sea Cucumber Research and Development Center, which is located in Naawan, in the campus of Mindanao State University, Naawan, has discovered the conditions of sea cucumber fisheries in Mindanao, the habitat profile, the reproductive biology, and the genetic diversity of the white teeth fish, or Holoturia fuscohilba, and developed hatchery protocols for the broodstock maturation of white teeth fish and the mass production of sandfish, or Holoturia scabra, using ocean nursery systems and sea ranching with local communities in selected sites in northern Mindanao. So they did all this through their research and development. The center envisions to enhance the natural stocks of white teeth fish and sandfish through responsible restocking practices. Sandfish is one of the highest valued sea cucumber and is currently listed as endangered in the International Union for Conservation of Nature Red List of Threatened Species. Sea cucumbers are sea creatures collectively known as echinoderms, or spiny-skinned marine invertebrates that include starfish, sea urchin, sand dollars, and sea lilies, among others. They are expensive, exotically fished, ecologically important, and some are endangered. The recently completed program identified 58 sea cucumbers occurring in 33 surveyed municipalities, of which 34 are commercially gathered and traded, tapped by Holoturia and Stichopus species. On the other hand, the collected sunfish breeders produced a total of 181,200 first-stage juveniles, which are less than 1 gram. The hatchery-produced juveniles are turned over to project sites in Misamis Occidental and Camiguin for ocean nursery rearing for 2 months in floating hapas. After growing this in the ocean nursery, the juveniles are distributed to pre-selected beneficiaries for grow out in modular pens. Overall, the program was able to seed a total of 21,000 sunfish juveniles in Camiguin and Misamis Occidental for stock enhancement during the research program. The program is coordinated by Picard. Another on kabuhayan reports that research and development reveals the potential replacements for B glucan and MOS immunostimulants in crustacean feeds. Crustacean feeds with banana peels, water hyacinth leaves, and a common field grass, which is called Cynodon dactylon, are currently being tested against commercial mucopolysaccharides, big glucan, and mannan oligosaccharide, or MOS, as feed additive to improve the immune response of mangrove crabs to infection through the project entitled A Rapid Cost-Effective Method to Screen Potential Sources of Immunostimulants and Growth-Promoting Feed Additives for Esquila Serrata using a functional genomics approach. The project is being implemented by De La Salle University through their genomics laboratory with funding support from the Philippine Council for Agriculture, Aquatic and Natural Resources R&D. So feed grade big glucan and mannan oligopolysaccharide or MOS are currently used as additives for livestock and are being explored for use in fish feed. No immunostimulant enriched feeds are currently in the market. The big glucan and MOS price of 4 to 5,000 per kilogram from the supplier is rather high. So the cost can actually be brought down, according to the researchers, to 300 to 500 pesos per kilogram if we can use the novel sources of immunostimulants. The study shows the potential sources of feed additives to develop from over 26 non-potential sources from literature. So the potential sources were screened for mucopolysaccharide content and the free radical scavenging ability. So this is a case of looking for cheaper raw materials for that immunostimulant feed additive. That is all for our Kalusugan and Kabuhayan report.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary Boy. Mga kaibigan, unang bahagi pa lang po yan. Marami pa kayong dapat malaman, kaya huwag kayo alis. Magbabalik pa ang DOST report.
Are all living inside watersheds. Ang watersheds, ito ay bahagi ng ating kalupaan. It's part of the landscape that collects rainwater and store as much rainfall as it can underground so that we can have sustainable water supply even during summer days when there is no rain.
Tuloy-tuloy po ang ating programa. Narito po muli si Secretary Boy para sa ikalawang bahagi ng DOST report. Secretary.
Now we go to Kaayusan. Okay, the first item which I would like to report under Kaayusan is a report that DOST is now has already gone to Fuga Island. Okay, Fuga Island actually one of the islands located north of Luzon, part of the Babuyan archipelago, and really a far-flung barangay in Apari, Cagayan. It is accessible by a 3 to 4 hour boat ride from Claveria town in Cagayan. The island is identified as a geographically isolated and disadvantaged area, or GIDA, which is hampered by the lack of education, livelihood opportunities, and limited electricity service. Due to difficulties, parents who can only afford to send their children to high school and college have the privilege to pursue their studies in the mainland, and those who are not capable will continue to help their parents in the island to find food to eat. The island also uses now solar energy from panels donated by supporting institutions to light up the villages. With the result, the DOST did a technology needs assessment in Fuga Island, and they were able to determine through our DOST Region 2 the different scientific and technological interventions that can be provided. And these are particularly in the areas of education, health, and nutrition. First of all will be the installation of science and technology research-based openly operated kiosks, or our Star Books, in elementary schools, which will be powered by solar panel and batteries. So this will afford them to have access to more than 100, almost 200,000 books in digital format through our Star Books, and 400 students will benefit from this. Also, there are 2,000 residents in the island who have no access to clean water for drinking and sanitation, which is posing a serious health risk to residents. So under the entry point of the Department of Science and Technology Region 2, they will actually work on clean water and sanitation, and they will conduct physicochemical water testing on their water sources for microbiology contaminants as part of our intervention under the Community Empowerment Through Science and Technology program. I would like to mention also that in Puga Island, farming and fishing are the main livelihood, and because of the abundance of natural resources such as mung bean and corn, and with the presence of solar drying trays, the DOST Region 2 planned to conduct good manufacturing practices training to improve the local products' safety, quality, and shelf life, and to provide timely, accurate, and reliable services using the latest analytical methods and procedures that are accepted as international standards. Our DOST Region 2 aimed at the calibration of weighing scales along with also the complementary feeding program conducted for underweight children in the island. These are part of our interventions under the Community Empowerment Through Science and Technology. And finally, under Kaayusan, the first item I would like to report is coming from our DOST Region 5, powering the first biogas plant in Bicol. The Legazpi City Abattoir in San Roque, Legazpi City, which is the biggest and most modern in the Bicol region, is now rising to become the first abattoir in the region to embrace biogas technology. And thanks to the collaborative project entitled Piloting of Biogas Technology for Thermoelectric Mechanical Applications for the Legazpi City Abattoir of the DOST Region 5 through the Provincial Science and Technology Center in Albay, in cooperation with the local government of Legazpi City. By utilizing 1.5 tons daily of biodegradable waste from swine slaughtering, it will mitigate public health hazards and environmental degradation by converting the waste to fuel for the abattoir's boiler system, saving approximately 1 million pesos worth of annual expense from diesel fuel. This project pioneers the use of biogas technology at a relatively large scale in the country as solid waste management and a solid waste diversion program. Congratulations, Region 5. Another report under Kaayusan is coming from the DOST Industrial Technology Development Institute, and recently they have assisted 2 waste management companies or companies engaged in the management of waste to convert waste into viable energy. The DOST ITDI has provided assistance, technical assistance to Greenfield Waste Management Services Incorporated and to the Waste and Resources Management or WARM Incorporated, again in the construction of biogas digesters for waste that these companies are handling. Being recent participants in a German-Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry sponsored training with resource persons coming from the German Biogas Association, DOST ITDI engineers are more confident in providing such services to these companies. The said companies will utilize the biogas generated from these digesters to run generator sets, reducing their dependence on electrical power from the national grid. A memorandum of agreement covering the technical assistance was executed for each company. Both companies are located in the province of Cavite, and WARM Incorporated has already constructed a 7-chambered anaerobic digester with a capacity of about 3 cubic meters in its chamber, while Greenfield will put up a 3 tons per day capacity biogas digester intended to cater to kitchen waste coming from Silang, Cavite. So the project of ITDI will include designing the biogas digester system, supervising actual construction, doing the test runs of the 3-ton per day capacity biogas digester, and then of course conducting a training for the actual operation and monitoring of the facility. That is coming from DOST ITDI. And now, still involving ITDI, our DOST National Capital Region is conducting an energy audit for the LGUs or the local government units of Malabon, Caloocan, and Pasay. Our DOST National Capital Region is partnering with the DOST ITTI in conducting the energy audit. This is actually a program that will do energy audits for local LGUs in support of the Department of Energy's program that adheres to Republic Act 11285 or the Energy Efficiency and Conservation Act. Alam nyo, marami tayong masasave through doing an energy audit and implementing the cost-saving recommendations. Under the said act that I have mentioned, all government offices must have energy conservation activities and programs which can be achieved through a more efficient use of existing equipment. Okay. The audit actually consists of spot checking of areas inside the local government unit building and compliance with submitted reports to the city's energy efficiency and conservation program. The energy auditors will come from DOST National Capital Region and from the DOST Industrial Technology Development Institute. They will provide a scoring of all LGUs on the compliance to the energy efficiency and conservation law. So the activities already started May 18, May 20, and May 25 for the governments of Malabon, Caloocan, and Pasay respectively. Another one on kaayusan is coming from DOST Region 12 in South Cotabato. And here is something that I think some people, shall we say, shy away from, but it's very important. What DOST Region 12 did as part of the initiative to strengthen the disaster risk reduction and management operations in the region was to check up and to do troubleshooting for all of the installed early warning devices in the whole region. Because these automatic early warning devices have been in operation since 2016, DOST 12 decided to check the 148 hydrometeorological devices that are installed region-wide, plus 56, this includes 56 automated rain gauges, 25 water level monitoring stations. This is to monitor the level of water in a locality. 6 automated weather stations and 10 agrometeorological agromet stations, plus 51 automated early warning stations. So recognizing the need for timely and accurate data for proper processing of information to ensure public safety, our regional director there, Sammy Malawan, dispatched his technical personnel to assess these devices, which are at least 5 years old. Okay, and to date, they have already finished inspecting and checking 37 installed hydrometeorological devices in the provinces of Cotabato and South Cotabato. They will continue the work, and they found out that the most common needs for maintenance include change of damaged sensors, lead acid and LiPo batteries, high gain antenna, tipping bucket into pronamic, and updated SIM cards. While most of the units need to be upgraded, they found out 2 devices were missing due to theft. Okay, assessment and troubleshooting for the provinces of Sultan Kudarat and Sarangani is now ongoing. Now, coming from Region 5, another project from the Bicol region, they did a disaster risk reduction management information caravan and outreach program. As we know, the Bicol region is one of the most often visited by typhoons, and so it is very important that our residents in the area are prepared and aware, regarding disaster risk reduction. And so they did the caravan, went from place to place, starting May 21, 2021. So far, it has been participated already by 205 beneficiaries coming from our Community Empowerment to Science and Technology program. This initial area is the Baldoc, Kapandan in Catanduanes. The activity intends to create awareness for residents on disaster risk reduction and management measures during calamities. So they were oriented on the right preparations during occurrence of natural disasters like strong typhoons. And additionally, our DOST Region 5 extended assistance to the recipients who have been victims of the typhoons recently. Okay. Next, still on kaayusan, is a report from our DOST Philippine Textile Research Institute, wherein they presented their major testing partners in the area of geosynthetics. You know? And the DOST Philippine Textile Research Institute presented its geotextile testing services, which contributes to the current administration's infrastructure development plan known as Build, Build, Build program. Okay, so most people would not realize that textile is something to do with build, build, build. So the forum, which was held last May 27 virtually, put this spotlight on the significance of quality testing and assurance in government and private infrastructure projects. This crucial process also provides measurable assurance in ensuring public safety, especially in the infrastructures that are used on a daily basis, such as national roads, highways, bridges, ports, and flood control structures. It also aims to raise confidence on the value of compliance testing amid a lot of public building projects that are ongoing. Attending the event were stakeholders from academia, the government agencies, particularly from the Department of Public Works and Highways and the Philippine Ports Authority, as well as the geosynthetics industry on the testing and evaluation of geosynthetics. Geotextile is a class of textile material that, as the name suggests, geo for earth, provide permeability as it is used to improve the characteristics of the soil on which it is applied. It has the ability to separate, filter, reinforce, protect, and drain when used in association with soils. So today, geotextiles comprise about 34% of revenues of our Philippine Textile Research Institute and 40% of their client base. Still on kinabukasan, here is something unique. It is entitled The Sound of Science, Nurturing Philippine Indigenous Music Through Research and Development. Aiming to preserve the legacy of indigenous Filipino instruments and artists, a group of researchers from the University of the Philippines Diliman Electrical and Electronics Engineering Institute, as well partnering with our DOST Advanced Science and Technology Institute, created an open source digital database that compiles audio recording of more than 100 Philippine indigenous music instruments found in different parts of the country. So this is funded by the Department of Science and Technology. The Katunog project is an answer to the seemingly declining interest of Filipinos in appreciating the local indigenous musical heritage. For the music industry, there is a resurgence of electronic music driven by advances in technology and demands by consumers. However, it is observed that the Philippine indigenous instruments are not being given considerable attention and leverage for commercial success. Dr. Franz De Leon, our ASTI director and the project leader, who has a background in digital signal processing for audio signals and has a doctorate degree related to music information retrieval, actually said that having a database of Philippine indigenous instrument sounds allows for novel research, including understanding pitch scales, analyzing sound textures, and sound similarities. To further expand and add authenticity in the collection, on-site recordings using different indigenous instruments in different parts of the country, this is being arranged already, itong mga recording ng indigenous instruments. And second to the last item, we have also a group of UP researchers who have developed, this is already a recently completed project this month of May. This is the development of an efficient and low-cost superconductor of thin film. And this is coming from the National Institute of Physics of the University of the Philippines, where they have developed an efficient and low-cost non-vacuum fabrication method of superconducting thin films that would enable the country's capability in harnessing high-temperature superconductors technology. This is a big step in initiating superconductor technology in the Philippines. And the project was led by Dr. Roland Sarmago of the National Institute of Physics. Okay, so this will be an alternative to the widely used pulse laser deposition or PLD technology to aid the fabrication of superconducting devices such as the Josephson junction, the superconducting quantum interference device, and the terahertz devices, of which thin films is a prerequisite. This is a three-year project that has recently been completed. Second to the last item, and this is a report coming from Region 2. This is actually the establishment of a Water Infrastructure and Management R&D Center in Region 2. This is at Isabela State University. The DOST approved the establishment of the Smart Water Infrastructure and Management Center. They call it the SWIM Center as its niche center for R&D for the people of the Cagayan Valley. The SWIM R&D Center or project is to be implemented by Isabela State University, and it aims to introduce innovative water management approaches through institutionalizing a university-based water research center to undertake R&D education, capacity building programs in the water resources sector and river basins, and to provide technical extension services. In approaching these kinds of water hazards, the center will undertake 4 complementary R&D projects, namely, number 1, smart water resources planning and development of water resources projects and interventions. Number 2, integrated assessment and analysis of hydraulic assets for sustainable and resilient flood control infrastructure. Number 3 is GIS, Geographic Information Systems, GIS-based decision support tool in managing, monitoring, and applying intervention of water infrastructure for smart cities, particularly for the case of Kawayan City. And number 4, smart water control infrastructures for effective irrigation management. And now for the last item, in my report, the Philippines and Argentina is starting science and technology collaboration after 73 years of diplomatic relations. After 73 years of Philippine-Argentina relations, science and technology collaboration is now being discussed. This was the comment of the Charge d'Affaires of the Embassy of the Argentine Republic, Mr. Augusto Cesar Granada, during the webinar which we conducted jointly with the company IMSA of Argentina, and this is a webinar on artificial intelligence. So the DOST, this will lead to the strengthening of DOST ties with its counterpart in Argentina, okay, and to form part of our science technology diplomacy program. Speakers from the Department of Science and Technology, Department of Energy, and IMSA of Argentina discussed the following. 1, the renewable energy development policies. 2, the artificial intelligence working methodology. Number 3, neural networks and genetic algorithms and their applications to industry. 4, artificial intelligence in the early detection of anomalies in hydroelectric power plant equipment. And 5, our DOST initiatives on artificial intelligence. This was attended by more than 600 participants from various stakeholders, including representatives from the Argentine Embassy in the Philippines, the company IMSA, the Philippine Civil Service, particularly those from the Department of Energy and the Department of Science and Technology. There were also representatives from Philippine private industries and companies and from the academy. And this was done through Zoom and Facebook platforms. That ends my report for this week, and I would like to thank everybody for listening.
Maraming salamat po, Secretary Boy, sa amin pong pagbabalik. Makasama natin ang mga ating kaibigan mula sa National Water Resources Board at Mines and Geosciences Bureau para talakayin ng mga proyekto. Bunga po ng kanilang pakikipagtulungan sa Department of Science and Technology. Kaya huwag kayong bibitiw, magbabalik pa ang DOST Report. Noong mga nakarang edisyon po ng DOST report ay nakapanayam po natin ang ilan sa mga hepe ng mga local government units na malaki ang naging suporta sa mga programa ng DOST sa kanilang mga lugar. Ngayong araw atin naman po nga alamin ang mga proyekto ng DOST sa pamumuno ng Philippine Council for Industry, Energy and Emerging Technologies, Research and Development o DOST PSURD, katuwang ang ilan sa mga national government agencies sa bansa. Sasamahan po tayo ngayon, DOST PSURD Executive Director, Dr. Enrico C. Parigit, sa pagtalakay sa mga programang ito. Magandang araw po, Director Eric.
Magandang araw naman, Onin, Secretary Boy, at pili nating panauhin ngayon sa episode ng DOST Report.
Bago tayo magsimula, siguro Doc Eric, banggitin mo muna kung anong klaseng mga proyekto ba ang kung saan nakaka-partner natin ang ating mga government, national government agencies at saka kung bakit mahalaga ang pakikipagtulungan na ito.
Sec Boy, siguro lingid sa kaalaman ng ating mga mga taga-subaybay ng palatuntunan. Karaniwan po kasing naririnig nila na gumagawa po ng mga tinatawag na research and development ay mga tinatawag natin mga research and development institutions dito po sa DOST o di kaya naman po ay mga universities na nagsasaliksik din. Pero marami rin po na mga proyekto na itinataguyod po ng DOST in partnership po sa ating mga scientists and researchers na nasa iba pong ahensya ng pamahalaan. Kaya tayo po ay nakikipag-partner din sa kanila para naman ito ay may isakatuparan. Ito po ay kung minsan natutuon sa pangangailangan din nila sa pangangailangan ng kanilang mga ahensya.
Maraming salamat po, Dr. Eric. Ngayong hapon, dalawang national government agencies po ang nagpaunlak sa ating imbitasyon. Makasama po natin ang National Water Resources Board o NWRB at Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Mines and Geosciences Bureau. Unahin po natin ang National Water Resources Board o NWRB. Katuwang po ng DOST ang NWRB sa pagbibigay ng tulong pinansyal sa pagpapatupad ng proyekto upang ma-upgrade ang mga pagmamatiyag at pangasiwa po sa mga water reservoir sa bansa. At ngayon po, makasama po natin si Dr. Savilio David, ang Executive Director ng National Water Resources Board. Magandang araw po.
Magandang araw din po, kasama Onin at Sec Boy at sa mga kasama po natin kagaya ni Doc Eric at si Bernard po ng MGB.
Doktor, isa po sa mga proyektong sinuportahan ng DOST at NWRB ay ang pagbuo at pag-install ng mga automated real-time monitoring system upang makatulong po sa NWRB sa epektibong pangasiwa po ng mga dam o dike at water reservoir. Ano po ang mga automated real-time monitoring system, sir? At ano po ang gamit po nito?
Siguro po magbibigay muna tayo ng ng konting kasaysayan tungkol po sa ugnayan ng NWRB at ng DOST at saka po ng PSURD. So noong 2016 po, nagkaroon po tayo ng kasunduan ng ating ahensya at sa programang Climate Resilient Initiative ng DOST po. Layunin nitong mapagbigay ng science-based information para po sa pagpaplano ng mga critical na infrastruktura habang isinasalang-alang ang mga epekto ng climate change, pati na rin ang mga tuntunin ng disaster risk reduction. So sa ilalim po ng programang ito, nakapaloob po ang tinatawag nating Automated Real-Time Monitoring System o ARMS nga po ang tawag natin para sa mga pangunahing dam sa bansa gaya ng Abuklao, Binga at San Roque Dams. Ang pangunahing layunin ng ARMS project ay ang pangangalap ng hydrological at operational parameters ng mga dams. Ito pong tungkol sa mga daloy, pagdadaloy ng mga tubig sa tamang pagtataya ng sitwasyon nang sa gayon ay makagawa ng mga critical na desisyon, lalo na sa panahon ng mga emergency at crisis. At nakikita po natin na itong mga ganitong sitwasyon ay kasalukuyan po ay mga nangyayari ngayon. Kagaya po ng isang taon, ay may mga dams po tayo nag-spill. At malaki po ang may tutulong nitong mga automated real-time monitoring system sa pag-monitor po ng mga dams po.
Saang mga lugar na ba tayo nakapag-install nitong mga automated real-time monitoring system, Doc David?
Opo, no, Sec Boy, no, sa ngayon po ay may mga 11 sensor nodes na naka-install sa weather stations ng Ambuklao, Binga, Apunan, Pitikan, Bobok, Toyongan, Badayan, San Roque at Felix na nakakatulong sa mag-transmit ng real-time data sa mga users po, no, ditong tinatawag nating Agno River. At patuloy po ang pag-develop at pag-update ng mga gamit at sistema para mas mapabuti ang pagkakalap po ng mga datos kasunod ang mas magandang serbisyo na maibibigay natin sa publiko po.
Ang isa pong proyekto bunga po ng kolaborasyon ng DOST Shared at NWRP ay ang development po of groundwater resources management plan and monitoring system sa mga piling lugar sa Pilipinas. Gaya po ng Zamboanga City, Metro Manila, Cagayan de Oro, Bukidnon at Iloilo. Maaari po ba ninyong ibahagi sa amin, Dr. David, ang proyekto ito?
Ang pagtatagpo ng groundwater management plan ay matagal na rin ginagawa ng NWRB kasama ng mga private consultancy firms, no? Pero mula po noong 2018, nakakita po tayo ng panibagong benepisyo nitong pagkikipag-ugnayan natin, no, sa DOST at kasama nga rin po ang PSHERD at iba pang institusyon sa akademya kagaya ng Ateneo at UP po ng pagsasagawa ng tinatawag nating groundwater management plan. Ang groundwater management plan ay makapagbibigay po ng komprehensibong itsura ng mga tinatawag nating groundwater or aquifer. No? Ito po yung mga tubig sa ilalim ng lupa na siya pong pinagkukunan ng mga water supply natin. At hindi lang para makita ang eksaktong lokasyon, kundi pati na rin ang mga tinatawag nating mga physical or hydraulic properties ng mga to, no? Ng mga aquifer. Makakatulong ito sa pagpapasiniguro ng long-term sustainability ng ating mga groundwater resources sa pamamagitan ng sistematiko at science-based management strategies para sa mas epektibo at maayos na pamamahala ng groundwater resources sa bansa. At nga po, no, at sa pagtutulungan ng NWRB, DOST at iba pang pribadong institusyon kasama ng mga akadim, nagawa natin ang groundwater management plan ng Zamboanga City kasama ang makarating na lugar nung ito. Kaugnay nito, ang pag-install po ng mga 4 na tinatawag nating groundwater monitoring wells para sukatin ang level at kalidad ng groundwater sa Zamboanga. At isa sa mga proyekto na ginagawa ng DOST at NWRB ay ang paglalagay po, no, ng mga 22 na tinatawag nating automatic sensor, no. Hindi na rin po sa ngayon po hindi na, dati po kasi manual ang pagsusukat natin ngayon. So kakibat po natin ng DOST rito ay magkakaroon na po tayo naglalagay po tayo ng tinatawag na automatic sensor sa iba't ibang bahagi ng bansa. Kagaya po ng Iloilo, Manila, Cagayan de Oro at Angeles na sumusukat ng level at kalidad ng tubig sa ilalim ng lupa at ibinabato nga po ito, no, ang mga datos na ito sa website ng NWRB at ito po ay nagagawa natin sa pagkikipagtulungan, no, ng kasama po ang DOST at PSHERD po.
Alam mo, mapalad ako dahil ako'y nakasama nung i-install yung automated real-time monitoring system sa Zamboanga City at sa Pabia, Iloilo. Ito talaga ay isang halimbawa ng science for the people. Doc David, sa palagay mo, ano pang mga proyekto ang pwede nating pagtulungan sa hinaharap?
Napakagandang tanong po yan, no, Sec Boy. At bago kami po ay nakikipag-ugnayan, no, sa DOST kagaya po ng PSHERD, no, na tinitawag po nating mga efforts natin, no, pwede ko tayo mag-collaborate, no, sa pag-explore po ng mga tinatawag nating mga makabago at affordable na water saving technologies, no, especially sa mga bagong para sa mga new and budding scientists po natin at mga partner institutions na magkakaroon po tayo ng tinatawag nating doon naman tayo sa tinatawag nating water demand management program, no. Ito po yung hindi lang po yung supply, no, ng or water resource ang tinitingnan natin dahil nga po sa paglawak, no, ng mga pangailangan sa tubig ay kailangan na rin po nating makita yung tinatawag nating water demand management program na sa tingin po natin ay ito isa sa mga collaboration efforts na pwede nating pagtulungan at ma-implement po sa tulong ng DOST at PSHED po.
Right. Maraming salamat po, Dr. Sevilio David, ang Executive Director po ng National Water Resources Board o NWRB. Ngayon naman po, dumako tayo sa isa pang national government agency na katuwang din po ng DOST, ang Mines and Geosciences Bureau ng Department of Environment and Natural Resources. Makakasama po natin Engineer Bernard Bitanga, Senior Engineer mula sa Mines and Geosciences Bureau. Magandang araw po.
Magandang araw po, kasama ng Onin at Director Ringit at Director Hildavid at Secretary po.
Isa po sa proyektong pinagtulungan po ng DOST at Mines and Geosciences Bureau ay ang pilot scale production of nickel pig iron from low-grade laterite ore. Tungkol po ba saan, sir, ang pag-aaral na ito at kamusta na po ang estado nito?
Maraming salamat po. So ang project na ito ay tungkol po sa paggawa ng bakal. Kasi at present po sa bansa natin, involved lang po ang Pilipinas sa pagmimina at pag-produce ng tinatawag nating concentrate products. So halimbawa po sa iron ores at nickel ores natin, pagkatapos po ng mina, ito ay binibenta na natin sa ibang bansa. Or kung meron mang proseso, ay tumitigil lang po tayo sa pag-produce ng concentrate na produkto. So binabalik na lang po sa atin ito at pinaprocess natin further into yung mga specific applications dito sa atin. So meron tayong mga tunawan ng bakal, pero ang feed materials na ginagamit dito ay purely iron scrap po. So wala po tayong tinatawag na from iron ores talaga to final metal products. So yun po ang kulang sa Pilipinas at yun po ang tinatawag na nating iron making process. So basically po, yung ginagawa namin is to introduce ng technology which is itong iron making technology, yung blast furnace technology na ginagawa namin sa project. At sa ngayon po, meron po kaming pig iron product which is an intermediate product ng from ores to steel. So ipaprocess po further namin ito hanggang sa mabuo po na as final product for a specific applications. So idagdag ko lang po na yung project namin ito ay hindi po siya pig iron production for construction steels or materials po, but yung patutunguhan po nito is a high value metal kasi po ang feed materials namin na ito ay hindi pangkaraniwang iron ore, but nickel ore po ang ginagamit namin dito na merong substantial amount of iron.
Engineer Bitanga, around 2 weeks ago ay binalita din namin na ang Mines and Geosciences Bureau ay nabigyan ng pondo under the Philippines United Kingdom grant for sustainable mineral exploration. Ang title nito ay a framework for the sustainable development of marine mineral resources in the Philippines. Tungkol ba saan ang pag-aaral nito at paano ito makakatulong sa ating mining industry?
Opo, kunting introduction lang po. So yung pagmimina ng mga mineral sa ating karagatan ay dapat suportahan ng gobyerno ng Pilipinas at ng mga pribadong industriya ng pagmimina. Dahil ito ay may mga potensyal para magkaroon ng mga produktong mineral o metal na critical sa pambansang kaunlaran. So gayon pa man po, may mga mahalagang isyu hinggil sa anumang mga proyekto sa mineral na pandagat na karapat-dapat bigyan ng tugon. So halimbawa po dito yung mga isyu ng ligtas na distansya sa pagmimina o mga limitasyon mula sa baybayin. Yung mga coastal erosion po, yung sediment transport na patungong dalampasigan at mga epekto sa buhay sa dagat at also yung epekto ng kabuhayan, halimbawa po yung mga pangingisda. So sa makatuwid po, ang proyektong ito, yung a framework for the sustainable development of marine mineral resources in the Philippines na ginagawa sa kasalukuyan sa loob ng 5 buwan ay para makabuo ng isang konkretong plano o proposal na siyang tutugon sa mga peligrong ito at siyang ipatutupad naman kung papalarin sa loob ng 36 na buwan under pa din po ng Strategic Large Grant ng PSHED DOST. Ito po ay sa pangunguna ngayon ni Engineer Teodorico Sandoval ng MGB at katuwang po namin dito ang University of Plymouth ng United Kingdom, ang Marine Science Institute ng UP Diliman at ni Engineer Ludwig Pascual ng Pilipinas MetDev Incorporated.
Alright po. Engineer, may mga programa po ba kayo nais bahagi po sa tulong po ng DOST?
Opo, sa Executive Order 79 nung nakaraang administrasyon, specifically po yung Section 8, which is the value adding and the development of downstream industries for the mineral sector. So kami sa MGB ay patuloy po sa pagtugon dito. So may programa kaming value addition of Philippine mineral resources, wherein sa ilalim nito ay may mga proyekto o mga pagsasaliksik ng mga teknolohiya na maaring maging alternatibong business strategies ng ating mining sectors. So ongoing po itong mga pag-aaral na ito at mga projects na ito, at muli kami sa MGB ay lubos na nagpapasalamat sa PSHARE DOST sa pag-aalalay sa MGB sa mga projects na ito. Kabilang po dito yung investigasyon sa mga technologies para ma-recover yung mga rare earths, kasama po dyan yung scandium, yung pag-convert po ng laterite minerals at iron sand into high value metal products at marami pa pong iba.
Okay. Maraming salamat po, Engineer Mitranga. Ang MGB at NWRB, ilan lamang po sa mga national government agencies na katuwang po ng DOST sa paggawa po ng mga proyekto para sa bayan. Dr. Eric, maaari mo po bang ibahagi pa ang mga proyekto ng DOST katuwang po ilan pa ang mga national government agencies?
Yes po, marami pa tayong mga ugnayan, no? Kabilang na rito yung ating katuwang, isa ring malakas na katuwang sa pagpapalaganap ng mga resulta ng ating mga research and development, yung ating Board of Investments. Kasama po dito yung ating ugnayan sa kanila upang ma-promote, no, yung mga teknolohiyang nalinang natin sa pamamagitan po ng pagpapakilala sa kanila sa mga piling investors o mamumuhunan. Kasi importante naman po na ang ating mga research na ginawa, no, ng ating mga siyentipiko ay mapakinabangan sa pagdating pag ito po ay nailako o ito po ay nai-introduce sa market, ika nga. At para ma-promote po ito, minabuti po namin ng Board ng Investments at saka ng PSHARE na maitanghal po ito doon sa tinatawag nating Compendium of Philippine Technologies. Ito po ay sa ngayon, yung unang edition po namin na nilabas namin noong Disyembre ay nagfi-feature ng mga 24 na piling teknolohiya na maaari ng puhunanan, no, ng ating mga negosyante upang makapagsimulang magnegosyo sa Pilipinas. Kaya naman natin ito sinusuportahan itong ugnayan sa BOI sapagkat sila po naman ay nagbibigay din ng suporta para maging malakas po ang pagpapasimula ng negosyo kasi meron pong mga incentives na binibigay doon sa mga teknolohiya na nalinang dito sa Pilipinas at nasuportahan po ng DOST. Meron din pong mga programa na patuon naman doon sa ating tinatawag na Startup Development Program. Dahil nga po sa pagkakapasa ng ating Innovative Startup Act, minabuti po ng tatlong ahensya ng gobyerno, kasama po ang DICT, no, at ng DTI, no, ang BOI naman po ay kasama sa DTI, no, na magkaroon po ng kabit-kabit na programa upang masuportahan ang ating mga startups mula doon sa pagpapasimula nila through research and development, kasama po doon ang DOST. Pagdating naman po sa pagbibigay sa kanila ng puhunan, no, para naman makapagsimula sila bilang mga startups at pagpapalaki, no, pagpapalago, yun naman po ay pwedeng tutukan ng DTI upang higit silang mapalaki.
Alam mo, meron din tayong magagandang partnerships involving DOST and particularly the Philippine Council for Industry, Energy and Emerging Technologies, R&D, with our Department of National Defense and with our Department of Energy. Maaari mo bang banggitin ito, Doc Eric?
Yes po, sa Department of Energy po, napakarami po nating mga mga naging partnership sa kanila. Gusto ko lang po din para sanang sabihin na yung ugnayan pala natin hindi po yan sa bahagi lamang ng pag-i-implement ng project, pati po sa pag-conceptualize at ganun din po doon sa paggawa ng tinatawag na impact assessment. Katuwang din po natin sila kasi ibig sabihin po ay mula sa pagpapasimula hanggang doon sa pagtatapos ng proyekto, kabahagi po natin itong mga ahensyang ito. Doon po sa DOE, siguro dalawa yung pwede kong banggitin na most significant sa panahon na ito, no. Una po yung ating mga energy audit projects na ginawa na kung saan naglabas tayo ng mga manuals, no, kung paano po magsagawa ng energy audit. Ito po ay sinimulan muna sa mga gusali ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno at saka mga eskwelahan. So ito po ay na-appreciate ng ating Department of Energy, kaya minarapat po nila itong ipamudmod at ipabatid sa iba pang mga opisina nila sa rehiyon upang ito ay maisagawa sa mga sa mas malawakang level. So ang maganda po kasing dulot ng energy audit natutukoy po kung ano yung malaking bahagdan ng gastos sa kuryente ng ating mga ahensya ng gobyerno at hinahanapan din po ng paraan, nagkakaroon din po ng recommendation kung anong klaseng mga pagtitipid ang pwedeng gawin upang mabawasan ang konsumo ng kuryente at of course ang binabayaran. Ang isa pa pong magandang naging cooperation natin sa DOE yung ating mga electric vehicles and charging integration project. Alam naman po natin ang DOE naglabas po sila ng suporta upang magkaroon po ng mga electric vehicles, particular po yung electric trike, para po siyang tricycle pero mas maganda at ito po ay electric powered. Ngayon po, isang naging challenge doon ay yung pagkakaroon po ng sapat na facility para ma-charge siyempre itong mga electric cars na ito, electric tricycle na ito. So ang ginawa po natin, tamang-tama naman, meron po tayong sinusuportahan naman na fast charging unit, no? Para naman po sa mga tricycle. Kaya nagsanib pwersa po tayo, pinahiram nila or binigay nila sa atin yung benting mga electric tricycles para ito po ay matesting doon naman sa ating charger. Ang maganda po kasi sa charger na dinevelop po ng isang proyekto natin ay napakabilis po ng kanyang pag-charge. 7 beses po siyang mas mabilis. Ibig sabihin po nito, mas maliit yung time na inuukol ng isang tricycle driver halimbawa para sa pag-charge at gagamitin niya yon para sa pamamasada. So, ang ibig sabihin nun, lalaki po yung kanyang kita. So, ito po yung isang example ng partnership natin with DOE. Sa bahagi naman po ng Department of National Defense, nagkaroon po ng agreement, mga 5 taon na po ang nakakaraan ang Department of National Defense at ang DOST. At mula po noon, nagkaroon ng mga proyektong kapwa po natin na sinuportahan. Tayo po yung umakay, no, sa ating mga researchers upang sila po ay makipag-ugnayan sa iba't ibang branch ng AFP upang makita po kung ano lang yung mga pangangailangan nila. Meron po yung proyekto para doon sa paggawa po ng gun mount, ano, sa isang uri ng baril na ginagamit ng ating Philippine Navy. Meron naman po patungkol doon sa pagpapaganda ng komunikasyon ng ating iba't ibang ahensya ng ibang branches ng ating ng AFP. Meron naman po yung paggawa ng mga UAV systems para po sa larangan naman ng surveillance, no? At meron naman po yung teknolohiya patungkol naman sa pagtukoy kung nasaan po yung mga sasakyang pandagat, no? So nagkaroon po ng ganung klaseng technology at meron naman pong technology tungkol naman po sa paggawa ng sarili nating armor plate para po doon sa ating mga tinatawag na bulletproof vest. So hindi ko na po babanggitin yung detalye pero ito po yung ilan pa sa mga pili nating mga naging cooperation with DND na talaga namang malaki po ang naging kontribusyon nito sa pagpapatibay po ng ating tinatawag na human security sa Pilipinas.
Dr. Eric, napakaganda po ng mga proyekto po sa DOE at ng Department of National Defense. At this point in time, may mga nais mabakidagdag sa mga proyekto po ng PSHER.
Opo, actually ito po ay siguro panawagan na rin po namin sa iba pang ahensya ng gobyerno na may pangangailangan po upang mapaganda pa ang kanilang mga serbisyo sa ating mga kababayan. kami naman po sa DOST, lalo po dito sa Fisher, bukas sa anumang hakbang upang magkaroon tayo ng, sabi ko nga tatlo, no? Magkaroon ng ugnayan o coordination, magkaroon ng samahan o integration, at magkaroon ng tulungan o assistance, mutual assistance sa mga areas na maaring mga ilangan ng science and technology intervention upang higit na mapahusay at mapaganda ang serbisyo natin sa taong bayan.
Alright, maraming salamat po Dr. Eric. Secretary Boy, baka may mga nais pakiibabatid sa ating po mga panauhin at sa ating mga taga-subaybay.
Oo, gusto ko lang i-emphasize na ang collaboration or partnership with the national government agencies with DOST is very important, considering that there are many needs and opportunities for upgrading capabilities and services in our line agencies that can be assisted with the research and development and with the science and technology. And I know that there is also a lot of expertise available in these national government agencies, and we really have to utilize this expertise, in advancing our science, technology, and innovation. All of these are part of our efforts, to elevate our capabilities and our, shall we say, our ranking, in terms of innovation worldwide.
Alright. Muli po, maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating mga panauhin. Dr. Sevilio David, Executive Director ng National Water Resources Board, Engineer Bernard Bitanga, Senior Engineer, Department of Environment and Natural Resources, Mines and Geosciences Bureau, at Dr. Enrico C. Paringit, Executive Director, DOST, Philippine Council for Industry, Energy and Emerging Technology Research and Development. Sasamahan po nila tayo maya-maya dahil sa amin pong pagbabalik. Sasagutin ni Secretary Boy at ang ating mga panauhin ang tanong ng bayan. Kaya huwag kayong bibitiw, magbabalik pa ang DOST Report.
Ang municipality of Uyugan po is isang 6th-class municipality located po sa southernmost part ng Batan Island. Ang products po namin, yung sa flying fish naman is binebenta namin siya as raw, pero ang bulk po niya is binebenta namin siya as in product and in process form.
Noon, makakakita ka dyan ng mga fish ng mura-mura lang kasi hindi nga sila nagpa-process. So binebenta nila at a very low price. Pag hindi na na-ibenta ngayon, sisira lang yun. O 2017, nag-start ang CES Uyugan natin for the Fish Landing Association.
Come and see the difference of Uyugan. Matikman nyo ang sarap ng dibang.
Makakasigurado kayo na ang dibang sa Uyugan ay fresh at saka masarap.
Perfect.
Oras na para sagutin ni Secretary Boy ang tanong ng bayan. Para po sa unang katanungan mula kay Catherine Cruz ng The Manila Times. How is DOST preparing for the upcoming rainy season? And how it will help raise awareness on climate change and natural calamities to prevent or lessen casualties during disasters?
Yeah, tuloy-tuloy naman ang ating efforts to improve our services in terms of forecasting so that our fellow Filipinos will be prepared, particularly those at the level of the local government units. So we have actually upgraded many of our facilities, particularly through the Pag-asa Modernization Program that actually was put into effect because of the enactment of a law on Pag-asa Modernization. So if you will go to the various stations of Pag-asa and even in the main forecasting center, you will see how advanced are our facilities already. And just yesterday, I was there because of course, we have Dante, and I wanted to have a first-hand observation on the activities that are taking place to prepare. And of course, it's not only the typhoons that we are monitoring. We are, of course, monitoring rainfall and actually the level of our dams. And dito na nga naging very, very relevant din yung ating discussion kanina with the NWRB Executive Director David. Now, in terms of awareness, iba't ibang kapartner ang aming kasama para ang level of awareness ay mapataas. Unang-una, Vice Chair ang DOST sa ating National Disaster Risk Reduction Management Council, and we actually collaborate with different agencies like DepEd, with DILG, with the different local government units, okay, and even the business sector, so that we can be better prepared for these natural occurrences.
All right. Ang tanong naman po mula kay Christian Yosores ng Bombo Radio para po kay Dr. Sevilla David. Luzon is currently experiencing clean power reserves. According to DOE, aside from power plant outages, one of the factors affecting the power supply is the extreme heat temperature. Amid the situation, paano po sinisiguro ng NWRB na may sapat na water supply ang Luzon, lalo na't naranasan pa rin ang mainit na panahon, at para maiwasan ang water crisis noong 2019?
Salamat po no sa tanong. Sa ngayon po ay kasama po natin ang isang sangay din po ng DOST, yung pag-asa no doon sa pagmo-monitor po ng mga dams natin, at napaka-importante po ng mga climate projections na binibigay ng DOST Pag-asa. Ito po ay ginagamit ng isang technical working group na pinangungunahan ng NWRB kasama po Pag-asa sa pag-monitor po ng level ng tubig sa mga dams natin, particular po ang GAT Dam. At sa ngayon po, dahil din po sa contribution ng mga technical working group na to at yung input nga po sa climate ng Pag-asa, ay napaplano ho natin at namamanage natin ng maayos yung pag-allocate natin ng tubig para po maiwasan natin no, yung mga tinatawag natin mga water shortage. At hanggat maaari po ay yun po ang ginagawa natin. At sa ngayon po ay nagiging favorable po ang panahon at yung pong mga projections mo binibigay ng DOST Pag-asa. At kasama rin po yung malawakang kampanya natin para po sa tamang paggamit at pagtitipid ng tubig po.
Alright. Maraming po salamat. At itanong mula po kay Meli Tenorio ng Siyensya na Teknopa ng Radyo Agila at Bel Sulara ng Radyo Agila Net 25. Paano po nakakatulong ang DOST sa responsible mining?
Yan nga, actually, itong ating mga research na isinasagawa, alam naman natin na malaking bahagi ng ating ekonomiya pa rin ng mining at ang ating mga natural resources ay nandiriyan. At kaya ang ating hangarin ay upang matulungan ang ating mining sector in terms of technology na una, makapagpapataas sa valor o value ng finished products, hindi yung puro ore lang ang ating i-export. Pangalawa ay anong mga proseso ang pwedeng magawa o magamit nang sa ganun ay hindi naman masira ang environment. At ang pangatlo ay upang matulungan ang ating mga maliliit na mga nagmimina sa pamamagitan ng tamang teknolohiya. Yan ang mga pamamaraan na nakakatulong ang Department of Science and Technology sa ating mining sector.
Muli po, maraming salamat Sekboy at sa ating mga panauhin. Mga kaibigan, abangan nyo rin po ang Bantay Vulcan tuwing Martes at Expert Talk Online tuwing Miyerkules alas 5 ng hapon kasama si Jel Miranda sa DOST TV Facebook page at YouTube channel. Mas marami pang balita mula sa mundo ng siyensya at teknolohiya ang ating pag-usapan. Kaya tutok lamang kayo tuwing Biyernes alas 4 ng hapon dito sa DOST TV Facebook page. Ako po si Oren Miranda. Ito ang mga balitang may kinalaman sa mundo ng siyensya at teknolohiya para sa bawat Pilipino straight from the S&D Authority ng bansa. Ito ang DOST Report.